So many martial artists got fame from the film industry like Jackie Chan, Jet Li, and Tony Jaa. But there has only been one, and the greatest of all time. The martial artist of all time is none other than the eminent and legendary Bruce Lee. In this video, you'll be getting to know about a brief history of Bruce Lee, and more prominently, we will be discussing the amazing Superman speed of Bruce Lee's punches and kicks, and how was he able to reach that peak. Let's start with the fun, shall we? If you're a Bruce Lee lover like me, then I'm probably sure that you've watched most of his movies and his real street fighting videos. But let's dive into his background a little, like who he really was before the film industry fame. Most of the people think that he is all Chinese. Well, he is not. He was not born in China, but in San Francisco, Chinatown, at 8 a.m. on November 27, 1940, which makes him American Chinese. He had a Chinese father, Li Hoi-chuen, but a Eurasian mother, Grace Ho. When Li was 3 months old, his family moved on to Hong Kong. He had 2 brothers and 2 sisters. That's enough of his biography. Let's jump forward into the main topic. His amazing Superman speed. He is famous for his super bolt speed, quickness, and agility. Time has listed him in the top 100 most important personalities of the 20th century. Bruce Lee's specialty was the Oneinch Punch and the Sixinch Punch. But don't worry, we'll be diving into the details of these punches in a bit. First, let's discuss the Oneinch Punch. He used this Oneinch Punch in the 1964 Karate Championship. This legendary punch is punched at a distance of 6 inches and is received at a speed of 118 miles per hour. This punch was also performed in the movie Kill Bill, though not by Bruce Lee. He learned this jab from Wing Chun training in Hong Kong. It is also one of the basic works of his art job. This punch of his can easily send back a 245-pound man. It was so brutal that it would knock out the enemy with just a single punch. It is not a simple punch at all, and for that, you don't even need that much muscle mass. The trick behind doing this jab is to interject your whole body's power into just a single area of the jab. A normal person like me always thinks that it's the arm that does the job for a powerful punch. In reality, it is not. For a better punch, you would need to use the power of your shoulders, the hip, and the legs. In short, you'll have to use the whole body movement in a harmonized manner. Likely said, the quickness and power of Bruce Lee's punch are driven by his legs. As you can see, his leg extension in this video is behind all the power. Let's clear out the concept. When he suddenly jerks his legs, this speed goes to the hips, and then the speed is transferred to the shoulders, and lastly, it is followed by the arm to the fist. But it is done in a millisecond, so it is impossible to be fairly noticed. Maybe, at that time, if they had the 960 frames per second slow motion video recording technology, it would have been a lot easier to be on following. Who said technology doesn't drive convenience in every aspect of life? All this science is done in a synchronized manner and with high accuracy. That's why it is so hard to follow on, and that's the reason behind his Superman jabs. The Sixinch Punch. This punch is simple complex like the previous one. The only difference that has been made here is that it will drop back the rival far away as compared to a Oneinch Punch. Plus, also, it would be punched at a distance of a total of 6 inches. It is like an advanced version of the previous and the baseline punch. However, Bruce Lee was likely to use the Oneinch Punch that most, and that was the reason for his specialty. The science behind it. If these 2 jabs are the same, then the science behind it would definitely be the same, right? Yep, that's right. It is all the work of body movement and high accuracy with synchronicity, and there is nothing more to it. Besides these 2 special punches, the speed of Bruce in kicking and normal martial art punching was amazing also. Bruce Lee was able to punch 9 times a second, and kick 6 times a second. And that's not the end at all. He owns some of the fastest knockout records. The steady knockout was in 18.6 seconds, the fastest jab knockout was in 3.2 seconds, and the fastest knockout was the kick knockout in just 1.2 seconds. He was one of the fastest and super strong martial artists of all time. His records are still unbreakable even to this day. By the strength and health Lee was going with, it was likely for him to stay almost the same and healthy with a few twitches even after living for a century. And it should not come as a surprise because the life expectancy of a normal person in Hong Kong is about 84.93 years. To perform punches like these, you would need a lot of time to experience and to learn. Luckily, that was not a problem for Bruce Lee. His first mentor was his own father, from whom he was taught the basics of Tai Chi. He was one of the bad boys in his teens. He was involved in certain gang conflicts, which were more basically street fights. When Lee was 16, he learned Wing Chun from Yip Man, a Wing Chun teacher who driven Bruce's basics. In 1958, when he was 18, he also won a boxing competition. After that, he moved on to the United States, where he was greatly influenced by Muhammad Ali, who was a heavyweight boxing champion, and in the 1960s, Bruce Lee adapted his style of work into his own. He was also physically influenced, meaning he valued the physical condition as same as learning martial arts. In 1965, he left baked goods and refined flour. He became very strict on his diet and would only eat healthy foods, high-protein drinks, and regularly took vitamins and mineral supplements. His aim was now to work on his endurance, cardio endurance, flexibility, muscle strength, and some mass too. To get muscular mass, he used traditional bodybuilding techniques, and all these drove his strength like he could do 1,500 push-ups on a single row and 400 single-handed push-ups, 200 with 2 fingers, and 100 with just the thumb. Bruce Lee was another name for endurance and strength. So, he is the best fighter, so is that all? Well, his abilities just do not end up onto that. He was also a poet, philosopher, director, and a great dancer. Did you know in 1958, when he was 18, he won a dance competition in Hong Kong named the Cha-Cha Dance Competition? How he died. Although he died at the young age of 32, he has done things that a normal person like me cannot achieve in a century. He died on July 20th, 1973. The reason behind his tragic death was a hypersensitive reaction from a prescribed painkiller for a headache. After taking the pill, the reaction swelled his brain and resulted in coma and sudden death. On that day, the world lost a great warrior. It is unlikely for us to get a great legendary martial artist like him. He was the best martial artist this world has ever seen. With his end of life, I'm afraid we got to end our video too. In the comment section, don't forget to mention down your thoughts on him and what ability of his did you like the most. If you adored our video, then don't forget to press the like button and subscribe to our channel for more sporty videos.
Let's go.